Tonight on KGW News. Now, there's something we don't see every week.
I've been planning on this. When I heard about it, I was like, oh, I'm going.
As the Navy and Coast Guard, plus our neighbors to the north, sail right into downtown. Plus, 5 years ago, it sparked quite a bit of controversy.
Would you let a homeless person live in your backyard? Portland, Oregon wants to know.
So whatever happened to that idea?
I think it was all set up to be successful, and then the ball got dropped.
And later, a larger-than-life challenge scaled down to size.
It's pretty amazing. It's basically what we work for, right?
The boost for local scientists on their quest to stop cancer and save lives. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday. I'm David Molko. Our top story tonight: for the first time in American history, a former president is facing a federal indictment, with Donald Trump now charged criminally in connection with how he handled classified documents. NBC's Alice Barr with the latest.
Tonight, former President Donald Trump has been indicted for a federal crime, a first in American history. It stems from his handling of classified documents. Details are limited as the indictment is still under seal, but two sources briefed on the matter tell NBC News a grand jury is recommending 7 charges, including false statements and conspiracy to obstruct. Former President Trump made the announcement himself on his social media platform Truth Social, where tonight he's fiercely denying any wrongdoing, calling the case politically motivated.
I'm an innocent man. I did nothing wrong, and we will fight this out just like we've been fighting for 7 years.
The former president is expected to surrender on Tuesday to a federal courthouse in Miami, where activity around the case has ramped up in recent days. The independent special counsel, Jack Smith, who's running the investigation, had originally convened a grand jury in Washington, D.C., but appears to have shifted to Florida, where more than 100 classified documents were discovered at Mr. Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate last year. Also under scrutiny whether the former president obstructed the federal government's efforts to get the materials back. It's just one of several legal cases surrounding the former president, who's already been indicted on state charges of falsifying business records in New York. The indictment landing just as the 2024 Republican presidential primary is ramping up, with the former president the clear frontrunner, raising the stakes on a politically explosive prosecution. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. Washington County authorities say at least 4 people have been arrested in connection with a sudden spike in fentanyl overdoses. The 4 were taken into custody at a Portland hotel Wednesday morning, with police confiscating drugs and cash. At least 15 people have overdosed the last 5 days, 5 of them fatally. Officials say this batch of drugs may also contain horse tranquilizer. A man who tried to kill a Portland police officer has been sentenced to 15 years in prison. Police say 37-year-old Matthew Leahy pulled a gun during a traffic stop last year in Northeast Portland and fired a shot at an officer, nearly hitting him in the head. An officer fired back and seriously injured Leahy. No one else was hurt in the shooting. And Multnomah County has approved a $3.6 billion budget for 2024. Homelessness is at the top of the list, with the county planning to spend $280 million. That includes money for shelter operation, rental assistance, and supportive housing. There's also $51 million to make the Burnside Bridge earthquake ready. Well, speaking of homelessness, now to a KGW follow-up on a program that some viewed as radical that was meant to make a direct impact. It was a way to create more housing by using backyards, with an added benefit for the homeowners, though it turns out only 4 of the units you're about to see were ever built. So 5 years on, Kyle Leboshi takes a look at why some organizers say they dropped the ball.
It was quite an offer, so unusual it made headlines around the country.
Would you let a homeless person live in your backyard? Portland, Oregon wants to know.
In 2017, Multnomah County offered to build tiny houses in people's backyards for free if they agreed to let a homeless family live there for the next 5 years.
Could your backyard be the solution to getting a homeless family off the street?
The project, called A Place for You, aimed to build ADUs, or accessory dwelling units, in backyards across the Portland area. So whatever happened?
Let's do the tour.
In April of 2018, the county placed one of its first tiny homes in Martha Chambers' North Portland backyard.
Poof, there's a house in your backyard. It's very small. Yeah, it's not even 300 square feet.
The 288 square foot cottage came fully furnished.
They put the bed in, yeah. They brought in the furniture.
There's a tidy kitchen.
It's cute.
Living space.
We do dinner and a movie night.
Small bedroom and private bathroom.
The bath. They did a really great job. Yeah.
Nearly 1,000 homeowners applied for the program. 4 were selected.
And I thought, wow, this is a great idea. And I get to keep the house at the end.
The 4 tiny homes cost the county between $80,000 and $133,000 each, depending on which company built them. By the summer of 2018, the units were complete, and 4 families had a place to call their own.
The woman that was living here and her niece were living in her truck prior.
Initially, Martha says things went well, but then relationships soured. There were challenging circumstances causing stress among neighbors, and COVID hit.
I mean, we all anticipated it wouldn't be necessarily a smooth ride.
Within 2 years, the once homeless family had moved out, and the backyard unit sat vacant.
Would you call it a success or a failure?
I'd have to say a failure.
Martha felt abandoned. After early enthusiasm, there was little support or follow-through by program organizers.
I think it was all set up to be successful, and then the ball got dropped.
Similar experiments to house the homeless in backyards have been tried elsewhere, such as Los Angeles and Seattle.
In Seattle, how's it gone?
We're feeling pretty good about what we've accomplished.
The Block Project in Seattle has built 15 energy-efficient tiny homes since 2017. Unlike Portland, homeowners in Seattle have no financial incentive to put a unit in their backyard. And importantly, there's strong support structure for both the homeowner and their backyard neighbor. The nonprofit Facing Homelessness, which runs the Seattle program, says it has a 95% success rate in maintaining stable housing.
And so for us, we really want to foster community by making sure people know that we care about them, we see them, we want to know what's working, we want to know what's not.
The creator of the Multnomah County program, Mary Lee, told reporters in 2017 that if all went well, she hoped we'd do 300 of these units in the next 12 months. Instead, there were 4. When asked what happened, Lee, director of Multnomah Idea Lab, a county policy center, wrote in an email, "Unfortunately, I don't have any information to share about the work," explaining the program was transferred from one county office to the next. It's since been handed off to a nonprofit.
I think it could have been much more successful if there was better follow-through.
Martha recently bought the tiny house after coming to an agreed-upon price with the nonprofit Join, which inherited the program. She's disappointed it didn't go better for everyone.
But I really wish there'd been more support for both sides.
After so much early attention, this 5-year pilot program has quietly dwindled, seemingly due to a lack of follow-through and coordination by those who promised big new ideas to help the homeless.
Kyle Laboshi reporting there. Of the 4 homeowners who participated, 3 say they had problems. The 4th housed a father and son for nearly 5 years, though now that the program is over, they are also out. Well, what an evening on the Willamette as ship after ship sailed into the Rose City with the Navy, the Coast Guard, and the Royal Canadian Navy putting on their best for an annual tradition. Fleet Week here dates back to 1907. It is now part of the Rose Festival, maybe a chance to recruit, to boost some downtown business, and also a chance to show off a little military pride. And while the public cannot board the ships until tomorrow, our Alma McCarty got a preview.
Up and down the Willamette, bridges lifted Thursday afternoon as the big ships sailed into Portland.
It is the perfect day to be out doing this. I am so glad.
And there was a buzz, even excitement along the waterfront.
Just looking for a little bit of a fun spectacle.
Lynn Barrett, a Navy veteran herself, watched it all for the very first time. To her, Fleet Week kicks off a fun and fully open summer season.
It's been so long. Portland's finally opening up. We're getting our parties and our carnivals and our fairs and stuff. Blues Fest, yes.
This Coast Guard ship was one of the first.
I just always wanted to see them, and actually I wanted to be on board with one. And Oliver Hunt says he's especially interested.
I always wanted to be in the Coast Guard, but my brother-in-law, he was in the Coast Guard in Cincinnati, Ohio, so I always wanted to follow him. Plus, I got a thing for their uniforms. You know, they're neat. I like them.
This ship here behind me is the USS Kansas City. It is one of 2 Navy ships here in Portland for Fleet Week. There are several others, including ships from the Coast Guard and the Royal Canadian Navy.
Independence variant littoral combat ship USS Kansas City. We're home ported in San Diego, California, but we're here in Portland for Portland Rose Festival. We're super excited.
This tradition in Portland goes back a century, the oldest Fleet Week in the country, and tours are free from 9:30 till 3:30 every day through Sunday.
We have large mission bays. We have a hangar bay with a big flight deck that you can come walk around, talk to the sailors, right? That's the most precious thing that we bring, right, is our sailors. We want you to interact with them, talk to them, and they want to talk with you. They want to show you what they do. They're so proud of it, and we're proud to be here.
The ships are here until Monday, June 12th. You can find out more information about all things Fleet Week on KGW.com. In downtown Portland, Alma McCarty, KGW News.